Welcome, language learners, to Language Learning Wellness, the mindful podcast for all language learners who are looking for encouragement and more confidence along their journey. Now, if you are interested in working with me more closely after this episode, be sure to go to the description below to check out my Patreon community where you can network with other like-minded language learners, as well as my coaching membership, the Mindful Multilinguals Collective, if you want to 5 times your language confidence results this year. Let's get to the episode. If you are feeling especially hard on yourself today, I want to introduce you to good, better, and best, because we can be so hard on ourselves in our pursuit to want to be productive, to want to see progress in our language learning, and thinking that if we aren't making progress, then we aren't being productive. But how should we measure progress anyways? Sometimes we do get to sustain a lot of energy, a lot of time that we can invest in our own language learning capabilities and just getting better and improving our skills. And also, life is going to happen in the background, whether we like it or not, outside of our language learning too, and it's going to directly and indirectly influence how we show up in our language learning itself. So if you feel like you didn't get anything done or you didn't get enough done today, here's a quick tip for how to reframe how you see your best looking like in your language learning each day. So the first thing for this activity is to brainstorm all of the language activities that you are doing currently. Next, you are going to brainstorm what you'd like to do. Make sure to leave a column for that. And next, you're going to brainstorm about activities that you're thinking about adding, if applicable. Not everyone needs to add new language activities, but it could be an extra column that you could think about. And then the fourth thing is brainstorm what you're not doing anymore, but what you would maybe like to go back to, or what you enjoyed in the past, and you think maybe bringing it back could help you learn your language better since you've already tried it out. And now I want you to draw a box for good, another box for better, and another box for best. Now, when you fill in the best column, I want you to think about, when do I feel my best in my language learning? What do I love doing when I feel energized, when I feel really alive in my language learning, and I'm just ready to do anything and everything to enjoy my languages today? After you're done with that, go to the better column. In better, you can ask yourself, what would I be satisfied still with doing today, even though I don't feel my best? And then after that, in the good column, ask yourself, what is good enough for me to do today when I really don't feel my best today, but I'm showing up in my language learning somehow nonetheless? Now again, make sure everything that you have brainstormed has a category. We don't want to leave any task that you brainstormed and wrote down outside of these 3 and thinking that, oh, this is not good enough, right? And then day to day, you can see, I feel like doing this kind of language activity. Well, this is in my better column, so I'm going to do that instead. And that way you can day to day go and revisit your 3 columns and see, that's what I did today, and it's still good enough. And remember, your best is going to look different from day to day, just like anyone else, from season to season even, and that does not make you any less of a language learner. In fact, it adds breadth and depth to who you are as a learner. Knowing that you can show up in your language learning in any sort of combination of shades and organization that make you the unique language learner that you are, the language learner that only you can be actually. And that is something absolutely special. That is something that no one can take away from you. And there's truly no other language learner out there like you. Now, if you'd like to take this further and learn how to manage your energy more effectively to optimize your language learning, then I invite you to sign up for my absolutely free workshop that you get instant access to, where I walk you through completely on how to build more flexible, less pressure, and spontaneous study routine that minimizes your planning so that you can actually get things done instead of just using your dedicated study session to just thinking about what to do. And this method will also help you, again, take a lot of stress and pressure off of yourself, making language learning more enjoyable instead of feeling like a chore. Walk away from it with a complete study routine ready to implement immediately. Thank you for tuning in. If you are interested in working with me more closely and also supporting the podcast, do check out the Patreon community that I have crafted just for you, as well as learn more about my group coaching membership, the Mindful Multilinguals Collective. If you did enjoy this podcast, make sure to give a like if you're watching on YouTube, or rate the podcast as well if you are listening on Spotify or other podcast platforms. This podcast podcast spreads the best by word of mouth. So make sure to let all of your language learning friends, acquaintances, coworkers, language institutions know about it if you think it's helpful for them. Take care, language learners, and we'll talk soon.